So a lot of people don't realize that de Quervain's tenosynovitis isn't technically just a thumb problem, but it's a neck issue as well. And if you aren't pairing up any of the thumb-related treatments with a look at trying to improve the function of your neck as well, then you may ultimately miss the thing that may have asked this to become a problem in the first place. G'day, my name's Grant Frost, and I'm an Australian musculoskeletal physiotherapist who is really passionate about trying to better understand the root underlying causes of all the common aches, pains, and injuries that I see day to day. And when talking about thumb pain, or more specifically de Quervain's tenosynovitis, hidden neck dysfunction could be the missing piece of the puzzle that you didn't realize that you should be looking for. So in this video, I want to talk to you about why the neck may be the hidden cause of your thumb pain. And I want to show you a very simple exercise that you can do with the ball that may help you find and improve some of that hidden neck dysfunction. And then if you are a member of the channel, there'll be an extended cut of this video where I want to show you a really simple massage technique that you can do today that may also help how your thumb pain symptoms feel straight away. So let's dig into it. So as a physio that's always been interested in what causes things to be a problem, I always had an issue with the reasons we would give people as to why that de Quervain's was there. If you've got it, you may have heard similar things like it's just an overuse issue. And essentially you're just doing too much with that thumb. Whether that's being at a computer, using a mouse, doing something that uses your hands and fingers, so much so that one very specific part of your hand and wrist becomes a problem. One of the things that gets missed with RSI of the thumb is that movement, use, and activity is normal. If you want to get better at something, the research is pretty clear that the more you practice, the more you do it, the better your body gets at doing that thing. But yet when somebody becomes painful, we're very quick to say, well, you did too much. Again, despite that being the thing that your body is wired to do. And what I find clinically is that use may play a role, but it's not the problem that we need to change or improve in order to stop this from coming back and give it space to go away in the first place. For me, clinically, if you have unknowingly developed a bunch of stiffness, tightness, overloaded structures in the tissue at the bottom half of your neck, which is where the nerves that come from that control your thumb, and also has the dermatomal distributions that we talk about on the channel all the time, that correlate to the thumb part of your hand. Hidden neck dysfunction can essentially set your thumb up to fail when it's exposed to overuse. So in short, by all means, we need to work on improving the health and function of your thumb. You may need to modify some activities, but if you're not also going looking through the base of your neck for hidden restrictions and dysfunctions, then again, it may be unrealistic for you to get through this quickly or to expect this to never come back again once it's gone away. And unfortunately, if you are someone that's been dealing with de Quervain's for a while, there is a good chance that hidden neck dysfunction could be the missing piece of the puzzle that you've been looking for. And if it is, at the end of this video, I want to talk to you about why your neck may be dysfunctional in the first place. So as always, before we get to the exercise that will hopefully help improve your neck function and ultimately your thumb function, we always need to establish a baseline first so that we can see what impact, if any, this exercise will be having on your symptoms. So naturally, if you have a specific movement or an activity that you would normally do that alerts you to how your symptoms feel, do that first. It could be one of the standard tests that we do for de Quervain's, where you put your thumb inside of a fist and then very gently bend your wrist away from your thumb, stretching out those tendons. If it hurts, that may be a positive sign that you have de Quervain's. But if gripping, twisting, doing something specific irritates your symptoms, please do that first. Take a general picture of how it feels to begin with. Then what we want you to do is take a tennis ball, or in this case, a lacrosse ball. We're going to use the ball to go hunting through the joints of your neck and upper back for clues as to whether there's anything there that shouldn't be there that may ultimately be setting this up to fail. So please don't trust me, don't take my word for this, test this out for yourself. But if you can take the ball, as always, we want to find the bump at the base of your neck, the one that stands out the most. Place the ball right onto that bump, then let it roll immediately off to the side. This is where the spinal joints are. From here, whether you're standing or leaning up against a wall, or in this instance, lying down, we'll need to get you to roll a little bit to that side just to get an angle that starts to bias the joints more than the soft tissue. We're looking for things that feel stiffer, tighter, thicker, harder, more dense, more restricted when compared to the exact same spot on the other side. Your body is a closed system. Yes, we label it left and right, but essentially it's just different parts of the same thing. So the restrictions on the opposite side may have just as big of an impact on your dysfunction than stiffness on the same side. But having said that, once you've found a spot that you feel is a little bit stiff, tight, and restricted, gently let the ball press into that area. You can take a couple of calming deep breaths to try and prompt this tissue to free up a little bit faster. Once you've done that, once you've spent a minute or two or however long you feel you need to be here, then just move the ball up a fraction or down a fraction. We're just looking for restrictions in the system in an area that controls and supplies and influences those very tendons that have become sore for you. Then as soon as you sit up again, ultimately what you should feel first is you should hopefully feel like your neck is looser than what it was before. But of most importance, if it does feel looser, what you should immediately do is recheck the same movements or activities again, do whatever you did prior to the exercise, then take note of what, if anything, has actually changed. If you feel a little bit stronger, maybe you feel you can do more before the pain kicks in, maybe there's just not as much pain as what there was before. If you see a genuine change in your thumb symptoms without touching your thumb, then you may have just uncovered that missing ingredient that you may never have realized was there until you went looking for it. Now, obviously, depending on how ingrained that dysfunction is, how long it's been there for, how bad it is, whether there's been any structural changes in that area, it may be unrealistic to improve your neck and expect your thumb pain to go away straight away. It may still need to revert back over time to how it was beforehand. But there is a world where you will see a dramatic change in how you feel just by improving the health and function of your neck. So please give it a go. Let me know in the comments how you went and what you found. Because what's interesting about this is if you have found that there is a connection there, because everything has to happen for a reason, we now need to try and figure out why that part of your neck became stiff, tight, and dysfunctional without you realizing it in the first place. So once you've uncovered the potential connection between your thumb tendons and your neck, and we're now asking why that itself is a problem, when we take a big enough step back, we often find that the positions and the shapes that you put that part of your neck into the most throughout the day are often the best places to start looking for clues as to why specific parts of your spine have become dysfunctional. And what's ultimately really interesting about the conversation around overuse and repetitive strain injuries is that because use and repetition are ultimately normal, it may actually have less to do with the constant hand and finger movements that you do, which again are normal, but it may actually have more to do with the neck positions and shapes that you're in while you're doing those repetitive hand movements. And if you're not someone who sits, but you're someone who stands and does a lot of things down here, ultimately, if you're kicking a hinge into that part of your neck by looking down enough through that section of your neck that you found was stiff, tight, and restricted with the ball, then ultimately this may be a conversation about where your head is while you're doing things compared to where it might actually want to be or where it is when you're doing the things that you do the most throughout the day. Computers, laptops, phones, reading books, driving certain positions, painting, arts and crafts, playing an instrument, doesn't matter what it is, there may actually be a shape that you gravitate towards without realizing it that has overloaded a specific part of your neck for long enough that you're starting to notice consequences at the levels that associate with that part of your neck. So if I can encourage you to make that connection, and then while you're doing the things that you do most, try and get yourself up into a better shape where you're up tall, shoulders comfortably back, and trying to do the same thing from this position. Then if you free up your neck, you settle down your de Quervains, but you still get into those same shapes, then again, you may unknowingly be perpetuating the root issue that has caused this to be here in the first place. And with that in mind, as a member, the next section that we'll go through will be a really simple massage technique that may help improve how your direct symptoms feel in the moment. So at the end of the day, de Quervains tenosynovitis, like most issues, often requires a slight shift in perspective to truly understand what it is and why it's there. Thumb tendon RSI or overuse, much like tennis elbow, golfer's elbow, and a lot of other hand, finger, and wrist issues, clinically is often a consequence of hidden dysfunction further up the chain at the levels that supply and control those areas. So by all means, everything that you have come to understand that you need to do for your de Quervains may still be relevant for you. But at the same time, if you're not working on improving the health and function of your neck, inclusive of the day-to-day boring shapes and positions that you put it into, then you may not be solving the bigger picture if you're not looking at those things. So please let me know in the comments down below what your thoughts are about this. Give the exercise a go. Let me know how it makes you feel. If this resonates with you and helps you, please consider leaving a like on the video, subscribe to the channel. But as always, thank you again for watching. I genuinely hope that that was helpful. I hope to see you next time.